Persona 5 Tactica reviews are out in the wild, and it's very interesting to say the least. Does Atlus's new strategy RPG Persona 5 spin-off live up to expectations? Well, I guess it depends on who you talk to about that. But before we get into it, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get the best Nintendo Switch RPG, live streams, and more first as soon as they go up. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this here because we've got some interesting reviews for Persona 5 Tactica. This is a strategy RPG spin-off, like I stated, from Atlus that uses all the characters that you know and love, a couple new characters, a little bit of a chibi-fied art style, Bravely Default, not quite that kind of weird chibi art style. I'm not even sure exactly how to explain it. It's cute and it's nice. Some people don't like it, but overall it's serviceable. But apparently the game is solid, not anything incredible, not anything terrible, but solid. Right now it has a 77 average on the Nintendo Switch, and it pretty much has right around that average on all platforms. Now this is one of the weirdest games because the game drops on Friday, right with Super Mario RPG and Naruto, so that's kind of rough, but the game drops soon as of the time that I'm recording this video, right? And it's got reviews, at least 10 or about 10 across the Xbox Series, the PC, the Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 5. So there's like 40 plus reviews at this point, but it's spread out on all different systems, which is really weird. Usually it's like one platform gets the most reviews and that's what they go with. But right now, the most reviews are on the Nintendo Switch with about 15 to 16 reviews at this point. And once again, it's pretty much a 77 across all platforms. There is 12 reviews on the PS5. There's a 78 there, but every other platform so far, 77. So the game is right there. It's good, not incredible, not great, but just good so far based off of the reviews. Now let's go ahead and jump into what some of these reviews are saying and what makes the game good and what makes the game bad, and if you're going to go out there and pick the game up. So Nintendo Life gave the game a 9 out of 10, so not bad at all. And so far out of these 15 reviews, there's 12 positives, so 75 are up, and 3 mixed. No negative at this point, so that's definitely good. But let's get into what Nintendo Life had to say. 9 out of 10 and said, Persona 5 Tactica is a thrilling, very tactical RPG that fans of the Phantom Thieves and the genre should take note of. It's a little on the easy side, but the varied gameplay, excellent soundtrack, striking visuals, and lovable characters all make for a very easy recommendation here. We'd especially suggest you to pick this up if you really enjoyed the original Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom battle, as we noticed a lot of parallels that can be drawn between the two. It remains to be seen if this is the last time we'll be seeing the Phantom Thieves don their masks, but if this does turn out to be their finale, Persona 5 Tactica is a massively enjoyable send-off for the beloved crew. Well, there's still like a smartphone game that's coming, and I think that there's rumors of a party game as well. So I think that they're not quite done yet, and I'm almost positive that Joker and crew will be in future games in some way, shape, or form as guests or secret characters. They're not letting go of those characters. So yeah, overall, but yeah, pretty good, 9 out of 10. All right, next up is from Nintendoros. They gave it an 8 out of 10, and guys, that was pretty much it for the 9s. There's no 10s. That was pretty much it for the 9s. We're gonna go into the 8 scores where most of the scores are. So Nintendoros, 8.5 out of 10, and they said Persona 5 Tactica is a good spin-off of the franchise that introduces a rather interesting story with new characters and a cute chibi art style. We found it to be a good experience that will appeal to both fans of Persona 5 and strategy video games. All right, nice there. Next up is an 8 out of 10 from Games Radar Plus, and they said, while not particularly revolutionary despite the theming, Persona 5 Tactica is certainly moving. It's easy to imagine it fanning the flames of rebellion, to use the game's own parlance, in the hearts of players. It's not as all-encompassing as a mainline Persona and lacks some of the charming odds and ends usually present in them, but it's hard to fault a new kind of spin-off that is mechanically competent and features a compelling narrative. So yeah, it definitely seems like if you're into Mario plus Rabbids or Fire Emblem or Advance Wars, these type of games, then Persona 5 Tactica is going to be a game for you. Next up is an 8 out of 10 from Pocket Tactics, and they said, The Phantom Thieves journey never seems to end. You can't deny the games are good, and Persona 5 Tactica is no different. Play as Joker and Co. in a different setting and stretch those strategic muscles across challenging and fun stages, wrapped in a delightful story. Next up, books, 8 out of 10, and they said if you want a little more time with Joker and the crew, then Tactica should be a welcome addition to your game's collection. Screen Rant, 8 out of 10, and says ultimately, Persona 5 Tactica is another fun spin-off that proves the depth of its source material. Persona 5 has successfully ported itself to the Muso, rhythm, and tactical genres, all while maintaining the charm and flash that made it so instantly recognizable. At this point, it would be weirder to see the genre that the series didn't successfully adapt itself to than ones it does. So yes, there is rumors of a party game like I talked about before. So look out for Persona 5 Party next year or something like that, right? So next up is from multiplayer.it, 8 out of 10, and they said this: the turn-based strategy genre has never been particularly inflated, so we welcomed with open arms the experiment of a company like Atlus, which, when it comes to Persona, rarely misses the mark. And in fact, Tactica is one of its best spin-offs, which reshuffles the historical characters of the JRPG series with a creative twist in both gameplay and look. Some natively prevents him from approaching the great classics of the past, but in the same way, it is clear that Persona 5 Tactica was also designed for those who don't particularly know this genre and only have a great affection for the picturesque Phantom Thieves. All right, next up is Siliconera with an 8 out of 10, and this will be the last of the 8s, and we'll get into the 7s scores. I had a lot of fun with Persona 5 Tactica, especially after I took the risk to crank the difficulty up on the strategy game so friendly fire would be enabled. The characters, personas, and concept all adapted well to the genre shift. Atlus also executed it in a way that makes it easy for people new to tactical titles can wade into it without encountering too many barriers. I do wish there had been more elemental elements to it and certain characters didn't feel a little too perfect for every situation, but it is entertaining and I appreciated the creativity behind the design direction. All right, so let's go ahead and get into these 7s now, guys. Spazio Games with a 7.8 out of 10 and said this: mostly carried on by another amazing soundtrack from talented Lin Inazumi and by a cast of lovable and much loved characters, Persona 5 Tactica is an enjoyable, if a little by-the-book SRPG that will surely please Persona fans. But the ones looking for a challenge and for more complex game mechanics will surely have a lot better choices in the same genre. So Fire Emblem, Mario plus Rabbids, XCOM, stuff like that. All right, next up is a 7.5 from COG Connected, and they said this: all in all, Persona 5 Tactica is far from perfect, but it looks pretty sound, it sounds excellent, and is fun. If you just want to see more of the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, you can certainly do worse, and if you open your heart to the new cast, Arena and Toshido have a lot going on for them. Just be prepared to replay levels a lot on higher difficulties. Next up is from RPG Fan, a 7.5 out of 10, and had this to say: Persona 5 Tactica wasn't the mechanically satisfying nor thematically engaging tactics game I hoped it might be. However, if you want to spend more time with the Phantom Thieves, you will find a fun diversion in this turn-based tactics and emotionally affecting narrative during this 25 to 30 hour journey. I recommend Atlus for trying something more serious and impactful with this Persona spin-off, even if it doesn't quite stick the landing. All right, so now we're getting into the mixed reviews at this point. We've got a few of them to go over. This is a 7 out of 10 from Nintendo Insider, and they said this: the thing about roller coasters is that even some of the best ones have moments of downtime, but ultimately remain thrilling and fun. The ride didn't leave me changed in any way, but I certainly want to get back on and go again. Next up, a 6 out of 10 from Digital Trends. So the first kind of not so good, pretty bad or somewhat bad here. Persona 5 Tactica strategic elements are its highlights, but don't expect it to take your heart. So definitely not positive, but serviceable it seems. Next up is from The Gamer with a 6 out of 10, and this is the last ranked review score that we do have here. Persona 5 Tactica is undone by the fact it's unsure if it's putting the Persona twist on the tactical grid game or using Persona characters to introduce newcomers to the genre. Maps and missions are repetitive. The more interesting elements that each Persona brings are sanded off, and there's an over-reliance on basic gun and melee attacks that don't suit the Phantom Thieves at all. But when it clicks, there is an unmistakable charm about the Phantom Thieves themselves, and drawn out through they may be, the epic scale of the bosses is a good shakeup for the genre. It's not the perfect goodbye of strikers, but it is a sign that the sun should set on the Phantom Thieves in peace. So yes, people are starting to weigh a number of things with this. So let's go over everything so far, and I'll give you guys my verdict on not playing the game yet, which I will play the game, but I'll give you guys my verdict. I think that the game shines. When it comes to the pros, it shines in its use of the Phantom Thieves. It shines in its characters, its story, its acting, like its setting. The Phantom Thieves will always be a great cast of characters, and if you loved them before in Persona 5 Strikers and the dancing game or in the other type of spin-offs or in the mainline game Persona 5 Royal, you're going to love them here. So that's absolutely a positive. Obviously, the music is really good. Persona games always have good music. I haven't played a Persona game in the last decade or so that doesn't have incredible music. This is the same case here with this as well. I think that the game runs and looks good. Even though you might not like the art style, the game still runs good enough and looks good enough, and there's nothing technically wrong with it. There isn't glitching or breaking or problems or frame rate issues, so that's absolutely a positive. And there's some fun gameplay to be had with the strategy RPG. However, the cons of the game are, one, it is maybe wearing a little bit thin with the Phantom Thieves, and two, the game seems to be pretty easy unless you're putting it up on the difficulty and kind of replaying the missions and certain things. But it also seems like it's a basic cookie cutter type of strategy RPG, introducing fans of turn-based RPGs or action RPGs to a strategy RPG. So you're not going to get the same level of strategic gameplay as a game like Mario plus Rabbids, for example. That's like XCOM, which is more of a watered down version of that, but still probably harder than this game, which the original Mario plus Rabbids was really hard. Sparks of Hope can be hard, but yeah, like Mario plus Rabbids was harder. And if you look at like Fire Emblem is obviously a lot harder, or Advance Wars, certain stuff like that, right? So that's also one of the negatives with the game. But overall, it seems like it's a solid experience that is probably worth it if you love the Phantom Thieves. If you love Persona 5, you love the characters, you love the Phantom Thieves, then maybe you should rush out there and buy it day one when it launches. However, based on what I'm seeing here, and once again, I still need to play it, it might be one of those games that you wait for a sale, right? If you're a big strategy RPG person and you're looking for that next great strategy RPG that's really going to challenge Fire Emblem and XCOM and Mario plus Rabbids, this might not be it. It might not just be it, and you might want to wait for a sale because it's an Atlus game. You know that the sales are going to come. But once again, if you're just looking for that strategy RPG to play, this could be your game. But we'll see how it works out once I get my hands on it. I'm looking forward to playing the game. There's just so much coming out this week with Super Mario RPG, with Naruto to Boruto, and then also this game as well. It just kind of like all piles on top in terms of the games. Plus I have my backlog, but this video is not about that. It's about Persona 5 when it comes down to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, when it comes to Persona 5 Tactica. I'm looking at any of the new reviews that are coming in, and it's pretty much the same across the board when it comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. 77 is that average. So what do you guys think about Persona 5 Tactica and what they're doing here? What do you think about the gameplay so far and the reviews? What do you think about the pros and the cons? Do you plan on picking up this game? Are you waiting for a sale, or are you just not going to get it at all? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out our other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.